Hello and welcome to the Morningscape podcast. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell as we go through the Thursday, January 15th NHL Daily Fantasy Slate. Let's get on into it.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.
DJ, how you doing on this fine Wednesday evening?
Pretty good. Tuesday was solid enough. I won a little bit of money in DFS. I won some money betting. Can't complain. Those are normally two things that go together nicely. I did like Tuesday night. I bet the Harley kind of laddered shots. He lost a shot to go from 4 to 3, I believe, which, you know, I still think I technically won money. Maybe it was like literally a $5 I can't remember. Now, who cares? But I was dreaming that he had 0 when I went to bed. He had over, I think he had 1 or 2 when I went to bed. I fell asleep and I had dreamt that he got 0. And then I went back and watched it and he actually had 5 and like none of them counted. And then I realized I might have a problem. I should probably call the number.
That's interesting. I bet it on Fanatics because it had the best numbers, and they paid out 4, so I didn't.
I don't
return the 3 or whatever.
I don't actually know if DraftKings paid out the 4 or not. He had 4, I believe, at the end of the game. I don't even know that for a fact. Like I woke up. And
he definitely had 4 at the end of the game. I mean,
I woke up and checked it at like 2 a.m. and then I checked it again when I actually woke up. Just kind of woke up, like I said, like dreaming about my gambling, which is again a bad sign. It's not good. I also had a realization. Tell me if this happens to you. Does this ever happen to you? Do you ever think like maybe I should eventually take a day off from all of it and just like rest my brain?
I mean, I've gone overseas and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess I did that too.
I was actually
for a minute, but
yeah, when I was in on Quinn Hughes night, I don't think I played a lick of DFS when he got traded. I was in Nashville. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to be on my phone. And I go to the bathroom and just literally got an alert. Like I wasn't even on Twitter or whatever. It was just like the alert push that he got traded. And I was like, well, okay, I got to go see this. But yeah, I feel like I'm doing better at that than before.
Yeah, I feel like days off are boring. And I agree. Like, I don't really like to do them. But I'm like, should I like once in a while? I don't know. And then I was like, oh, Olympic break. And then I'm like, well, I'm actually the Olympics, I'm probably going to triple down on nonsense. What am I even talking about?
Yeah, if you're not digging into Norway versus France women's hockey, like I don't know what you're doing for your Olympic break.
That would be embarrassing, is what it would be. And I certainly won't be in on that. So 3 minutes of nonsense. Anything else from your Wednesday?
Yeah, we got to shout some people out because some of the sick folks that tell me won a bunch of money with Utah 3 last night. So I mean, we finally get something right on this godforsaken show that gets me a little bit of money. We got to talk about it. So let's just pull that up. I tweeted it out. So if you go to my Twitter at Fake Moods, you can see the full tweet, in Discord or whatever. But we have Jay McLean. I think this is the hip check. He won it with a Washington Utah 3 stack with Provorov. Love to see that. Sam Polos. Is this? I don't remember what contest this was, but in any case, he won 1,000 with a 181 score with Columbus in Utah 3. Shot out 0 from Ryan Leonard. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Job done. And then nice little ROI here. Looks like $140 on $5 or so. I didn't track the name of that, but they're all in the Discord. Everyone in here, and Dan here. I know he sent this one over. He took a negative from Sorokin. Doesn't matter. Easy cash. Easy money. 6 total points from defenseman. It doesn't matter. Utah 3, baby. And yes, I did win the late slate GPP. So thank you to everyone for asking that very important question.
Yeah, I will say that I called you. I think it was Monday after my hockey game, and I was like, it's not just obviously in hockey, but like football. I feel like every DFS. I don't really know basketball, but like it's just at some point the cowards need to get punished, and it feels like they finally did on Tuesday night when actual DJ
stuff. DJ, Sissoma won all the money yesterday. We cannot say the cowards got punished.
All
Just
right.
the alphas won, I think was the moral of the story though.
Yeah,
But
it
projections
was
just went
definitely a
ape
night.
shit.
Like I actually feel like I played really, really, really good stuff, and I was proud of my lineup, and it cashed. And um, the Columbus 2 got bailed my ass out in the last
Sure.
minutes of that game.
Yeah.
But we can move on
Last
to the
guy.
slate.
Last guy,
Yeah,
DJ Burning Love, in the Discord. He won the quarter jukebox with a
holy
where was the score? Someone put up a 180 or 190 that would have won
something
the entire website.
184.
It's crazy. Yeah, 198.4 here was that Jay McLean score. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that's
Just
bananas.
yeah. Anyway,
I looked at the Utah 3 stuff. I called you before the slate. You're like, I'm still doing it. I'm doing it somewhere, and I was like, I just don't have the nerve. I don't have it. I'm gonna play fucking Druin and Heineman. That was what it was. Heineman got me there, but
Heineman
whatever. Let's get to this
smashed.
slate.
Yeah.
He smashed. I know. I was still fine, but it was like I actually looked at like
Yeah.
a similar team to that, like
I
McDry
played them
with
on
Utah 3, and
main,
I went
but
softer.
I had Tampa,
Yeah.
so it didn't really matter. I still made a bunch of money on the the main slate, but not nearly like a not nearly a takedown or anything like that. I was just basically behind system on all the contests, where he had like 6 entries because he just maxes everything. But yeah, it was a system night on the website, and Nick Kawada, an old friend of the show, met him multiple times out at live finals. He won the seat yesterday. So shout out to him. Not a Utah 3 team, but nonetheless. All right, DJ,
All right.
I
Let
think
me
it's
do
time.
I'll do it quickly. We've already wasted 7 minutes.
So quick.
So we have 5 birthdays. I don't know all of them that play. Mason Appleton, I believe, plays. Maybe. He's on Detroit
Detroit
now.
is
No, they
not
don't play.
here.
I'm an idiot. Ethan Del Mastro, if he's up with the Blackhawks. I don't know.
Nope.
Washington play? Nope. Connor McMichael gets his birthday off. What
Connor
about
McMichael
there's
does
no
play.
Colorado.
They do
Oh, he
play right
does.
here.
Oh, Washington plays. So he's the only one. Marty Nachos, no, and Stutzel, no. So we have one birthday that's actually playing, and unless if Ethan Del Mastro is called up, and I have no idea. I really think that I'm not going to go game by game here. We're going to go game by game anyways. I really think there's only like a couple games I'm kind of crossing out. Obviously, we'll get to them. I think the slate really is pretty wide open. I'm pretty excited to go through and say that, like, there's a little bit of chalk. I think there's a very, very clear one chalk spot. And then other than that, I don't know what else people are just absolutely aping in on. So it really feels like it's Edmonton or I'm not going to be super chalky. And I'm interested in this slate overall. Any initial thoughts instead of my nonsense hour?
I feel like I was robbed of some nonsense and instead had to listen to someone actually using their brain to think. And I was not prepared for this. I don't know. Columbus is against Vancouver. We have Edmonton in a pretty good matchup. Also, Boston against the back-to-back Seattle and Washington against San Jose. Like, I feel like we pretty much know where ownership's going to come in concentration-wise, which, I mean, is nice. Like, I imagine none of those 4 teams really eclipses the rest. Maybe Columbus does just because of how comfortable the field is clicking all of their random idiots. But we'll talk about Columbus when we get there. I guess it's the first game up. But yeah, in general, I think it's a pretty open slate as far as like what's available to us, and it's another Utah 3 night, so I'm gonna have fun with that. And yes, shout out to me. 6% Kreider on the late slate after their team got ruled out. Just easy money, easy money. Buffalo belt. Yep, I saw Josh Norris was dead, and DJ's in chat talking about it. So
yeah,
whatever.
I just looked it up. Yeah, it just we'll see. I mean, he stayed on the bench after with a supposed injury, and then got ruled out for us. And you're up 4-1. He's not really a defensive, player. So I'm not going to lose sleep over it yet, but we'll see after the game. But yeah, he is ruled out. But I'm not going to sit here and say like, dead, season over yet. But we'll see. He is made of glass. So we start with Vancouver, Columbus. If you're ready, I mean, I do think Columbus is one of the more popular spots on this 10-game slate. They were very, very, very good against the Calgary Flames, and of course, what better team to then go against than Vancouver? Vancouver's been, I guess, somewhat pesky as far as like the top end players have been able to do something, but is it enough at these prices to actually win? Maybe. I mean, the way DeBrusque is playing, it feels like there's a nuke in there somewhere. Um, not a. I think really what it is like there's not a ton of options that you have to concern yourself with. Like there's two different lines that consume the top power play. Pedersen, DeBrusque, Garland, Besser, Buium in the middle of it all. Not an incredibly interesting spot, but I mean Columbus kind of stinks too, right?
Yeah, I mean, old Rick Bonus starts from the defensive end was his mantra. Uh, you know, first practice, all that mumbo jumbo. So we'll see what they actually wind up doing. I just wanted to take a look at I'm trying to find DeBrusque's shot chart on the year because here's oh well okay, I'm downloading something. I don't want to download it from HockeyViz. These are his power play shots, which is very funny. And I'm guessing there's some element of Brady Kachuk tricking the expected goal stuff going on, where it's just not really super real production fantasy wise, because he's got 15 expected fantasy points per game over the last 10 and only 10 actual fantasy points. Now, that's not bad, 4,600. Again, I used a rule of thumb where double is pretty good. So triples is best, obviously. We all know that. And 15 is triple 4.6. But doubles is not bad either. So even if his actuals are a bit fake, 4,600 is a good price. It's a good matchup. Pedersen, sub 6K. Uh, Obligatory. Let's just click in on their last game to see what Linus Carlson did, because once we get that guy in 18 minutes, then we're cooking. And he played 15, so it's better than 14, but not quite the level we want. We did see Zeev Buium return to the lineup, and he's 3,400 power play one. If Columbus remains as injured defensively as they were last game, I could see some power play stacking with Buium, but if they're reasonably healthy, there's no reason to play Zeev. He's just not doing anything from a fantasy perspective. The bottom six is just not going to score any goals, and that's about it. I also don't want to play David Camp line mates, but DeBrusque Pedersen is at least somewhat interesting to start things off here. Columbus
Yeah.
side, do you want to talk to me about Mr. Cole Sillinger, DJ?
Will I go back to Cole Sillinger or not? The answer, I mean, the thing is that line was so lethal at 5-on-5, and the shots just funneled through their best shooter in Adam Fantilli, and I think it could easily bounce back the other way. Like Cole Sillinger isn't afraid to shoot, and he's getting a bigger role. It's just not maybe big enough to where I want to get ape in too hard, hit the post, missed the net a couple times, got one on net. Like not a must have piece without the power play role. But I mean that's what I was betting on. I was betting on there are three players that are 100% locked into the top power play, and then there are a handful of guys that could mix in. Why was it Charlie Coyle? Because everything is stupid, and it's only time to be sad. And Charlie Coyle had to get 30 points in daily fantasy because people actually played him. No power play role. That sucks. He is, I think, at least like useful enough at 3,300 that there's something wrong with the click with Fantilli Marchenko stack. Marchenko is just awesome though. Like I really do think this is a guy that is nearing the not coming off any power play type of situation. Like he's the last guy off the ice in that Columbus top power play. The guys that come in after him really don't. I think you have what Zamula marked as the last guy on that power play. He did not see the power play too. Marchenko just stayed out there. Like the only other player that inconceivably saw a role was Fabro, but it was almost negligible. I mean, Marchenko is both units, and
That's
that would
the
make
Severson. That's the Severson spot. So Marchenko does make sense. There's a right shot.
Right. Like
So.
he's going to stay out there as much as possible because he is just their most lethal like scorer, and Fantilli is their best shot taker, like at generating maybe opportunities or however you want to look at it. I don't see getting away from that top line, but the second line is of note. Kent Johnston on the top power play has ability, and the other two guys are a bit of donkey trucker / empty net merchant / NHL quality players against Vancouver, who has very few. So I don't know. I'm interested, but what say you?
Um, yeah, I mean Columbus. There's a lot of question marks around their defense. Denton Matejchuk injured, Damon Severson hurt. Both guys. I think Matejchuk's gonna miss a little bit. Not positive though. And then what I really wanted to talk about was the Kent Johnson glow up in Game One under Rick Bonus. He played 21 minutes. Um, that's that's gonna work if he keeps doing that. Given the player we know Kent Johnson is, it's gonna work. Just gonna put that one out there. They use the Voronkov Cylinder Olivier line as a true, or sorry, Coils Voronkov Olivier line as a true third line. Um, it was not like and it's Calgary, so maybe it's different in different matchups, but it wasn't like, hey, we're gonna chase around the top line with this third line and then make our top six basically play 14 minutes apiece on the night. Like they didn't do that. They said Fantilli, Marchenko, Jenner, Johnson, like these are our dudes. Like go after them, and that happened. So that's a very promising development. Monahan, Johnson, Jenner, leading in time on ice. Johnson's the only guy on the first power play there, and he's 3,400. So that full line stack is way cheaper than usual because of the ice time over the last little while. I think the ice time will be back. They're 12.2K and a gift of a matchup. So,
Yeah.
27 expected fantasy points and 22 actual for 12K. Pretty good stuff there. Certainly like it a lot more if Damon Severson's in and they have like a true top six or top four of D pairs to work with. But yeah,
Yeah.
Sillinger, Fantilli,
And
Marchenko is fine. I'm not playing Sillinger. I'm probably not playing Fantilli, Marchenko. It's what I suspect to be 25-30% ownership.
that's I mean that's the inherent problem with it is of every stack on the night, or maybe not even stack, but like I you know what, every stack on the night, it might be the most popular, and the only players that are going to be more popular are on Edmonton. But I do think that there's a lot of value in that second line as well. So
All
it's
right,
a really interesting spot to start it off. Are you ready to move on to our
Montreal,
first narrative of the night?
Montreal, and Buffalo. DJ, take it away.
Yeah, it's the 2006 20-year reunion, the last time the Sabres were actually very relevant. So it's been 20 years, which is a long time. But the vibes are back. The boys are in the house. Finneganov, maybe I don't even know all the guys that are Miller's there. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. Just look it up. Maybe Brian Campbell will show up. He'll murder RJ Gumberger again. But this is also a match that is kind of, if the Sabres win, there will be kind of flirting again, if hold on again here against the Flyers, with getting into that top three in the Atlantic. Like, these are two teams that are playing really well. The second line in Montreal, this continues to be a little bit underpriced. It hasn't really moved too much, but it's been awesome. I think it's like, I mean, all three of them are factors. Demidov gets the most, I think, credit for the point totals. Slavkovsky gets a ton of credit for, kind of being that prospect that sort of is coming into his own more and more, and helping to generate a lot of offense on a second line. But Oliver Kapanen, the unsung hero of the line, that is just a really, really, really good player. Like, all around, everything you want to see in fantasy: block shots, shoots the puck, and can score. With these two guys setting him up, so it's a really interesting spot. Back-to-back Sabres, crowd will be buzzing. There'll be a sold-out crowd for the reunion. Noah Dobson move up that top power play and went down in price. Will it stick? I guess we'll see. But that's a guy that does everything. Blocks, shots, can certainly accumulate points in the right spot. So Montreal's really interesting. I don't think there's anything down the lineup even worth looking at. What do you think here?
Yeah, Noah Dobson's super interesting. The role change, we saw it. I think we talked about it on Monday night because it was like as we were listening, but they got like 3 seconds on a power play and they scored with Dobson out there, and it was like, oh, that's weird. Like what? And then in Washington, it just was a thing. Dobson was top power play over Lane Hudson. It's a 700 price difference between the two. Noah Dobson's a better fantasy asset than Lane Hudson. He mixes in more shots, more block shots, so he's going to be a more consistent producer. It's a good matchup against a back-to-back Sabres team. So Yeah, I really like Noah Dobson here. I think it makes a ton of sense to mix it in with that second line. Texier got mixed in with the top power play last game. So keep an eye out for that. But 3,900 for him, even if he's power play two, 16.5K for the top line. Texier is not a passenger. He's at least he's been driving. Does that sustain itself? I don't know. Montreal's betting so. They just gave him 5 million for the next 2.5 mil over 2 years to place that bet on him. But that second line is where it really just continues to stand out to me. 14.5K for them. It's a little bit more expensive, but we're still looking at 32 expected fantasy points and 32 actual. Like, just this price is probably 1,500 too cheap, if not 25, 3K too cheap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was 800 more like a week ago.
And Noah Dobson, you're saying, or
I guess he was 600, 700.
no?
More,
Who
like,
are you talking about?
Yeah, Dobson. Dobson is he just continues to fall in price, and the role just got way bigger. Like, it's very confusing. But that's DraftKings for you, and I think like the entire team is. I think you can make a case for anyone in the top 6 being too cheap. Like every single player. I don't think there's one guy here that I'm like, that is clearly a mispricing in either direction and like entirely, but all of them a little too cheap.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And again, the matchup is pretty solid. Let's consult the rainbow sheet just to confirm that. And yeah, looks pretty good on all sides of it. Sabres have been getting a little bit of goaltending, but back to back, it's Colton Ellis. There's certainly no reason Montreal can't hang a 5 spot here, even if it's not the most likely thing in the world. On the Buffalo side, we did get new lines today. Benson,
could be new again.
True. Good point. Did not consider.
Let's yellow our boy. They did get a power play to start the third, and it didn't last long. And I'm obviously not watching because that would be bad podcasting. But we'll figure it out. Probably Benson.
Okay. Yeah. Benson, Tage, Tuck, Oslin, Norris, Stone, Zucker, McLeod, Quinn, Kozak, Krebs, Malenstein. Were the lines to start things. We talked about Josh Norris not returning to tonight's game multiple times now, but there you go. TBD what happens there. Tage, Tuck, Benson is obviously like the two best fantasy forwards in Tage and Tuck, and then Benson's cheap. Benson's the kingmaker. We've talked about this seems like the last 2 months now. I've just been saying it over and over again. Dahlin, I think he has 2 goals, right? On Wednesday night. So he's back and cooking 6,400. I think that sack makes itself. I don't think you need to play around with the middle 6 guys. Jack Quinn, Zucker, they're cheap, but maybe with no Norris, McLeod gets a bigger role, and you can make that argument. But I would like to see lines on Thursday before I really commit to anything like that. I think for me it's Tage, Tuck, Dahlin, and keep going.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and I don't really see what the power play actually was. Well, let's wait till tomorrow, see what happens, see if Norris is out. Not that interested on a back-to-back. I think this Montreal team is pretty tough. The game, I mean, in reality, the pace isn't fantastic. You're really trying to bet on efficiency.
Just Bo Byram.
Okay, that's what it looked like to me too. But the Byram, Dahlin.
Yeah, Byram in the Norris spot. It makes sense.
Okay. Fair enough. I think the point I'm getting to here is the volume isn't going to be fantastic in this game in general. And I think I just side with Montreal being, better at efficiently scoring goals in this matchup against the back-to-back Sabres team. But overall, like, I feel like I'm saying, like, man, Montreal is such a good play, and I won't click the buttons because I'm a homer. But I think you should.
You could do a little game stack. Bo Byram. Let's see. What's he looking like? 10 games, 10 expected fantasy points on 3.8 attempts. He has 4 goals, 5 primary assists, 8 total assists. He's a defenseman. He has 2.6 expected goals in that time frame. Holy shit. And 14 blocks to go with it. All right, if Josh Norris misses this game, Bo Byram might be the mid-tier defenseman of the night. Just play Byram and
Yeah.
Dobson and just say, yeah, I spent 9K for a Zach Werenski guy who, I mean, these guys combined could easily outscore Zach Werenski. So interesting,
Yeah. I think that's
interesting.
fair. I mean, and honestly, you could just play like Caulfield, Dobson, Tage, Byram, and like I think that's a really good way of getting up, like maximizing the points. But let's move on. I mean, there's options there. I think this is
Okay.
one game that I'm not inherently completely Xing out, but it's in the realm of maybe an X out for me. Flyers on a back to back. I'm at the very least not that interested in Pittsburgh. I think the only thing here that actually means anything is like a one-off tippet or looking at this top line, but I I don't know, man. Like it just feels a bit unnecessary to me to go in here like the Flyers on a back to back. Everything here seems boring except for the top lines. Zegras just scored. He has 6 shots on goal, so like obviously being reunited with connecting is helping, and that line is pretty good. And Pittsburgh kind of stinks, but I think maybe you could find a better line that's like Montreal 2 or something.
Yeah, this game is an absolute hell no from me. The rainbow
Yeah.
chart doesn't like it. Dan Vladar got hurt, so Sam Ersson played, I think, 2/3 of this game. So that's noteworthy if he goes back to back here. He's not a rested goalie on a back to back, which does affect their numbers a little bit. Michkov 4K, he's got 10 expected fantasy points last 10 games, probably his best 10 game stretch of the year. Only 6 fantasy points per game to show for it, though. So, just continues to slog through what's been a mess of a year for Michkov. Uh, I'm not that interested in anything here other than maybe an Owen Tippett one off. If, the pricing's
Yeah.
perfect, there you go. Owen Tippett, have at it. Pittsburgh side,
Agreed.
we have practice today, so they rolled out Raquel, Crosby, Rust, Chinikov, Novak, Malkin, Mantha, Kindle, Brazo, and Dewar, Achari, Lazat. No Eric Carlson. He was like a late announcement at Morning Skate yesterday that actually he's like, I think, week to week with an injury, which is
Yep.
certainly bad news for Pittsburgh. Chris Letang moves to the top power play, Brett Kulak to the second power play. Some Brett Kulak punt action could be fine. He's just a dude who shows up and
Yep.
he's going to play a lot of minutes now. Don't mind that. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to try and sell you on a third line in Pittsburgh that's 10K that I like just fine, but I don't think this is the matchup for it. And I don't think that a 21K top line is really all that interesting in this matchup with no Eric Carlson to sort of keep things moving on the power play. But I think you could make the argument for Pittsburgh given Philly's on a back to back. They're playing Ersson, who's their worst goalie, and Ersson's a little tired after finishing the Sabres game. So any thoughts here?
Yeah. I mean, another middle to cheap, $4,400 defenseman in a power play one role, and Letang is not what he used to be, but he still is out there and blocking shots and all that stuff. I mean, I'm going to be looking at Brett Kulak for something tomorrow if it's offered on the books. Like, give me a block shot or something. Like those two guys played 26 minutes. They have power play time. Not Kulak is it could be out there for penalty kill at least. Like the Tang might not. I don't know. I mean, overall, I'm probably fading this game in DFS. Just way too expensive. Like Pittsburgh won. They're the only real option that gets significant ice time. They're all power play correlated. Like I'm not one-offing Malkin at this price. I just think there's better options. Like we already mentioned, Owen Tippett that you could one-off instead and save some money and upgrade somewhere else. So I think I'm just a full fade on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't love this game, but certainly I see the paths for them more so than Philly for sure. Let's get to a slightly more fun game. San Jose at Washington. I have vague recollections of like 6 years ago. San Jose, Washington being like a 7-6 game that won me the main slate GPP on like a Sunday or something for 10K. So I will always have a little soft spot for this San Jose at Washington game, but nonetheless, the Rainbow Sheet absolutely loves Washington. San Jose's been atrocious defensively. Somehow their goaltending's been even worse than that. Again, this is all at 5-on-5. And believe it or not, Washington fixed the power play in practice today. At least that's what their focus on in practice today was. So Washington's going to have a fixed power play. San Jose skated. We didn't see lines from them, though. They're coming off a 7-2 beatdown from Vegas, so I wouldn't be shocked if this changed. But in any case, I just rolled with last game's lines in Chernyshov, Celebrini, Eklund, Regenda, Wenberg, Toffoli, Skinner, Misa, Graf, and Goodrow, Ostapchuk, and Gaudet. Noteworthy here, Chernyshov and Regenda are both now 4K. Little pricey there. I don't know. They've been good, but is that going to sustain itself? I'm not too sure. And Macklin Celebrini is 9,700 DK dollars. DJ, any interest in San Jose here?
No, no. I barely clicked on Macro Celebrini as it rose from 77 to 97 over the past not even month. So clicked on him a couple times, not enough to really make it rain while the sun was shining, and I'm not riding him to the top anymore. Like, there's obviously a ton of upside to his game. He's the most important piece of this team by a country mile, but I think Washington is a sound defensive team structurally, as you mentioned often, and even with these injuries, I just don't. I'm not going to go to the mat here for Macklin Celebrini when I haven't even I never have. Like, I do think that him and Eklund are the best pairing on the team with no Will Smith, but it's way too expensive.
All right, sorry. We just got Vegas and it is nearing 10 o'clock. So I just want to update this now before I forget that it's on my computer. Uh, Vegas going Barbashev, Eichel, Stone, Dorofayev, Marner, Smith, Kolasar, Hurdle, Bowman, and Reinhardt, Sissons, Holtz. Okay, cool. Shout out to Braden Bowman, who is one of the best 150 prospects in the NHL per Corey Pronman. That really just ruined my day today. All right, that is almost set. And now we can get back to where we were in San Jose. I think we're moving on to Washington, where I believe Wilson and Chychrun will be back. They both skated today. I listened to the first couple minutes of Carberry's 11-minute posted interview. Again, if you like hockey, I listen to that guy speak whenever I can. Unfortunately, I was running a bit out of time on this slate. You'll see that when we get to the final few games of the night. To set things up, Wilson, Chychrun both seem like they're going to be power play one staples. Obviously, Ovi, Strome makes a lot of sense. I think it's just a matter of who that fifth guy is. They spent a lot of time on it. Now, did we get a report on who was on the power play? We did not. Did we get lines from practice? We did not, but they were out there. It sounded like Protas is getting at least some power play time, whether it's top unit, second unit, I'm not sure, but that's rare for him, and he's still a pretty useful fantasy guy. So 16.4K for what I have projected as a line, Protas, McMichael, Wilson. I think either Leonard or Frank plays or Stromovi, and then the bottom six, who really cares? But again, I'm pretty sure Tom Wilson's going to be back for this one. I'm almost certain Chychrun's back. He was like being interviewed, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't even have the flu. I was just sick, and now I'm good." So 7,300 though for that. He's cooled off a little bit. How about a get right spot against San Jose? Sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, ownership's going to be hot and heavy on these guys, but I don't know if it'll be to the level that I expected on Columbus, and I think Washington's a straight up better play than Columbus, even at slightly higher prices. So any argument to that?
No. I mean, I think this is like a pretty good pivot, especially if news is a bit slow to get out, but it probably won't be. I think you're right. Like, it's going to be back to normal. It's going to be back to this. It's a little bit sad the pricing is as high as it is, but it makes sense. Like, Chychrun is going to just be himself again, and this is the price he should have been all along. Good to see him, I guess, finally get to where he should have been, but it does make it a little more difficult to play. Ovi's been, I think, quietly very, very good. Shooting a lot, pretty good goal streak until that game against Montreal going for him, and I definitely see the path to just saying, like, who fucking sucks? San Jose. And playing Washington at what I assume will be somewhat suppressed ownership, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, I just think people would rather play Columbus and rather play, a couple other options we haven't gotten to on this slate yet. But maybe I'm wrong here. But Matt, do you think the Slappies are respecting San Jose too much and won't go to Washington here?
No, I don't think the Slappies are respecting San Jose at all. I'm not too worried
That's
about
fine.
that, especially now that Macklin's 9,700. No one's playing San Jose or anything. I don't think
No, I'm
anyone's
saying
taking
like,
place.
but are they going to play Washington? Like, is Washington going to come in
It's
as the
the projections
second
are
or
going
third
to
highest?
have Washington as, they're going to be based on Washington having a 97 team total, and they're going to be high as a result. Like that's
Yeah.
the long and short of it, I think. Shams has us. Ethan Frank confirmed top line. So 3,800. There's a chance he's power play one as well. He smashed last game.
Washington,
So there you go.
a minus 198 home favorite and a 6.5. Columbus, or comparison's sake, minus 175 and a 6.5. Almost just a pair off each other in the minus on that over. Haven't gotten to it yet. But, Edmonton minus 185 and a 6.5. So like those are probably the three spots, and then everything else will be quite a bit less owned. So
Sounds
yeah,
right.
you're gonna get this ownership. Another game that, again, I'm not saying I'm truly Xing out because there's at least a piece or two here that's of note. And in fairness, I mean, I think there is something to Seattle being an option here with a lot of decent mid-tier options. Seattle feels like maybe one of them, but not something I ever want to click on. Like when your goal is to accumulate as many fantasy points as possible, playing the Seattle Kraken has not delivered the results you'd like to win money. But could they this time? Matt, I send it to you.
Yeah, I got 16.5 from Jared McCann and Ely Tolvanen. Just don't ask how many of those came from Jared McCann. So I could say I got some fantasy points from them today. By the way, Tolvanen had a 0, so shout out to me. He also wasn't even top power play. Extra shout out to me. So that was fun.
You're the bravest of them all. Yeah, Seattle on a back-to-back against the Bruins. I mean, like, just taking a step back feels fucking gross. So
that's very true. McCann, singular sort of guy, 5K, just probably the right price, maybe a little cheap. But this team runs through him. Vince Dunn is just like not shooting, and he played 24 minutes in this one, but it did go to overtime. But like there's like 19, 18 minutes all over his game logs since Montour went out. It's very odd. I almost wonder if he's dealing with an injury. He's just not been super productive. So I'm not like trying to stack Seattle or anything, but I do think Jared McCann's interesting.
Yeah, it does feel like they have like a true number one power play right now with Everly, Chandler Stevenson, sadly, Beniers, McCann, and Dunn. Like, I'm not saying that it's not fragile, because in Seattle's entire history, it's been very fragile that there's a true number one power play and that any of it sticks together for an extended period. But that actually feels like something. So I would stack through that if you're going to do it. You don't have to. It's a 5.5, and they're no one's going to play it. But I wouldn't think you were like a true idiot for playing Jared McCann. Then I honestly could like hear the argument of playing Beniers with Eberle, but I wouldn't do it myself because I'm squeamish.
Okay. Very important news for the people. Today was Berkeley Catton's birthday, and for his birthday, they got him a pint of milk, and his name is Kitty.
I saw the video.
So, yeah, very important stuff. Shout out to Kitty Catton, or just Kitty.
Berkeley Catton, a furry?
I kind of like Kitty Catton. Kitty Catton. How you doing, Kitty Catton? Yeah, top prospect. He didn't play much even on his birthday, though, so it's a shame. But if you're in super high entry stuff and you're playing Jared McCann, do mix
or if you're
your Sims or whatever.
Or if you're the stoner degen and you're just super high, you can mix in Berkeley Catton as well. Sure. We move over to Boston. The Boston Bruins. Matt, have you heard of? Not you probably haven't. Never mind. It was David Pastrnak.
Yeah, third liner here.
Yeah, third liner. Is he interesting to you?
I didn't have time to rearrange things, but yeah, Kuznetsov, Lindholm, Pasta, Geeky, Minton, Steves, Zaka, centering Middlestat, Arvidsson, Jano, Corrali, Kastelich. Not expecting changes here. Lindholm was back at practice. Hampus Lindholm was back at practice, but in a non-contact, so I don't think he plays either, which means a guy like Mason Lowry remains somewhat in play. Yeah, I think it's built around Pasta or nothing else. Morgan Geeky has cooled off from both a real life perspective, he has been ice cold, but his expecteds are down as well. He's not playing
They were
with Pasta at the
never
moment,
that
so
high.
I don't think you need to get there. But I just people remember, oh, Minton, you got to play Minton and Geeky, and then I think Geeky went on paternity leave or something. So in any case, Pasta 9,200, 18 expected fantasy points, 16 actual. Just he's the best play here by a country mile. Lindholm correlates with him nicely. McAvoy does. And then if you need some cap relief, Victor Arvidsson, Pavel Zacha are 4.4K a piece. And Zacha gives
Yeah.
you power play time. Arvidsson gives you fantasy output. So there you go.
Pasternak, the most expensive winger on the entire slate, with 4 centers above him. It's a tough click, especially like when you consider you need 3 points from a guy and his center who's on his power play is 4,800, but like doesn't feel like an obvious jam. It's a little bit disgusting. I mean, I don't think I'm getting there, but I definitely get the putting those two together, or in reality, even clicking on Morgan Geeky with Pasternak and saying that the power play ignites against a back-to-back Kraken team that isn't very good. And we'll have Chandler Stevenson trying to defend David Pasternak. Good luck.
Wait, revenge. Did we just have Boston and Seattle? I think
We
just
did. It is another revenge spot for Morgan Geeky against Seattle. So,
God damn it. We're back at it. All right.
the idiots are being idiots again.
Gosh. Winnipeg
we march
Minnesota.
on.
Winnipeg going Connor Scheifele, Iafallo. Winnipeg, is that 2 in a row? Have they won 2 games in a row?
It's got to be a franchise record, but I do believe that was 2 in a row.
3 in a row. Oh my God, 3 in a row, DJ. Stop the presses. Stop the presses.
I went to look if it was 3 in a row, and I realized that Ottawa's now up 8-4.
I'm seeing 7.
What happened?
Sure.
I don't know. I see 8, but I don't see the goal scorer
There it
appearing
is. There's
yet.
number 8.
Okay. Yeah, that's something. Anyways, though, back to what we were talking about before. Is Winnipeg fixed?
Well, I'll tell you what's fixed. Jonathan Toews, he's back, baby. Jonathan Toews, power play goal last game. I think that's goals in back-to-back games for Mr. Toews. Worst player in the league, he says. Not so fast, my friend. Sorry. Oh, my God. DJ, Jonathan Toews has scored a goal in 3 consecutive games. Winnipeg has won 3 consecutive games.
Okay. Winnipeg money line plus Jonathan Toews goal.
Bang. That is it. This is why you come here. It's the conditional bets. Those conditions have the payoff, or they just lose, and therefore you can stack Minnesota and DFS and bet that bet, and you'll win no matter what.
It's a no-lose conspiracy. It's a conspiracy theory. Actually, what it really is a market arbitrage. Market arbitrage.
Oh man.
Ape in. Okay.
Oh man. All right. I'm tailing that so hard. All right. Noteworthy for Winnipeg, no Neil Lind. Who the hell is Neil Lindholm? No Neil Pionk. He is week to week with an injury. Last time we saw this, it was Elias Salamonson came into the lineup. Now, at the time, they had Colin Miller, but Colin Miller's also week to week due to injury. So we could see someone like Sandberg or DeMello get power play time. I don't think Salamonson plays power play on the AHL team, so I truly don't know what they're going to do. They also called up Isaac Phillips, who was an old Chicago guy for the last couple tank years. I don't think he's a power play guy either if they tried to replace Luke Shen or something in the lineup. So it might just be Josh Morrissey all the time. We've talked about it for probably 8 years now on this program that Minnesota is a team to take defensemen against. So Josh Morrissey could play 30 minutes, all the power play time, and he's 5,900 on a Winnipeg team that all of a sudden seems to be clicking. Any interest?
Not really, but
sorry. Oh God, Logan Stanley on the power play too. Just got lock of the night right there type stuff.
I have a disease that if I see a player that I really don't recognize, I have to look them up no matter what. And who the fuck is Danny Zhilkin? Zhilkin? Honestly, Zhilkin might be right. 22-year-old, surprisingly Canadian Russian. I was shocked by the name. It doesn't seem like he's done much anywhere ever, but okay. I just have never seen that name in the roster, and he's played a couple for them now. But I guess I don't always think like, oh, we got to jam a guy playing 7 minutes, but needed to at least look at that because we're a podcast that talks about all the guys. Another mid-tier
A lot
option,
of dudes on this show.
Perfetti, Taves, Velarde is another version of all of the other cheap stacks. There's a handful of them. They could all win you a slate tomorrow. This one feels like one that's very much not going to get played against Minnesota. Minnesota, if they don't have Joel Eriksson Ek, which I do believe is a question mark tomorrow, I think that there's a chance he could return. But yeah, I didn't see anything either. So keep an eye on it. But without him, they don't quite feel like they have the same top 6 depth, especially from a defensive perspective. Like Ryan Hartman's fine, but he's a bit more Jekyll and Hyde defensively than a guy that's going to truly be a stout, shut down guy. The Devils put up 5 against Minnesota, and the Devils couldn't score any goals at all. I mean, they even let fucking Jesper Bratt score twice. Yikes. Just doesn't quite feel like, I'm saying, the same team that you have with Joel Eriksson Ek and the ability to sort of ride 2 lines that can dominate possession the same way. So I'm not saying it's, an easy click. If you're clicking the second line, it's a punt. It could absolutely fail miserably. There's no one on this line that's a prolific rate shooter. You really need to be efficient, but it's cheap and has a lot of power play roles. So if you are clicking on the top line, you're spending all of your cap on Scheifele and Connor. I don't think Alex Iafallo is worthwhile. Neither of which have had really any games in a month that, maybe there's one game in the past month for Kyle Connor that feels like it could have won your GPP. So it's a really difficult click, but sometimes those clicks are the most important, especially when the roles are so concentrated. Like Connor, Scheifele, we mentioned Morrissey. I think he's a must-have in either stack. It's interesting for sure. I feel like an alpha play tomorrow, but
we have 54 minutes of Perfetti, Taves, Velarde. Not a ton, but they do have a 3.3 expected goals per 60, 4 and a 2.2 against. They're outscoring their opponents 4-1 in that time. Obviously, both Velarde and Taves on the top power play as well. And that line is 12K for 28 expected fantasy points and 24 actual. Not too bad there. The only downside is a relatively tough matchup, though, like you said, Minnesota without Eriksson Ek is certainly very weak down the middle. Defensively, their core is strong, but, it's hockey. And yes, you mentioned the whole thing with Jesper Bratt and all that, so I won't need to make the same joke twice. But we know goals can happen. I like that second line in Winnipeg. For Minnesota, I think it's pretty clear who to play. It's Kaprizov or Boldy or both, and then you just build around them. And if you play Boldy, you can play Hartman, Johansson. If you play Kaprizov, you can play Yarov, Zuccarello. You can play both Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber. Brock Faber's been fucking awesome. Quinn Hughes comes over and Faber's like, hey, I'm Brent Burns now. And we're all just like, okay, you have at it, young man.
I mean,
and just every night.
Hughes can certainly lift some boats around him. And when you have a truly talented player in Brock Faber, like I don't think either of us were ever arguing his talent. He just did not have a DFS profile or seemingly the ability to get there until Quinn Hughes, I think, completely opened him up, which has been fun to watch and, good for the Minnesota fans. And
rivalry.
I haven't watched it yet. Okay. It doesn't mean I can't say something accidentally that sounds okay. You know what? Let's talk about Calgary and let's turn it down. Okay. You try to turn it on. We got to turn it off. We got to talk about the Flames now.
Oh, thank God. I needed a
heated rivalry against the Chicago Blackhawks in the game that absolutely nobody wants to watch, unless if Connor Bedard is playing, which I think is definitely yes. I believe that's because he played. Yeah.
Calgary, their lines could be different. I don't know. We didn't see anything, and I didn't look too hard.
Connor Zary have 1.28 expected goals per hockey viz, and of course expected by whom. And I don't know what the internal models had because we can't see them. But he played 18 minutes, was on the top power play that scored 3 times. So obviously considering
Fuck.
that the top power play.
What? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they
all
did
three of
score
their
all those
goals came
power
on the
play
same
goals.
power
That's
play,
right.
all three
Yeah.
of them. It was
Oh, they
impressive stuff.
rearranged everything in game two. That's incredible.
Yeah, they rearranged everything in game two. Like Connor's already played a ton. I think
Like
he's
this
a
is
truly good hockey player. I'm gonna say it.
are they really did they really put this unit out first on the power play and get rewarded every time?
Yes.
The third
Even
one.
Igor Sharangovich scored, I'm pretty sure. Like,
Wait, where's just Oh,
does it not
wait,
Sharangovich?
their second goal is literally immediately. That is
It
impressive
was
stuff.
it was like bang bang boom. Like,
Uh,
yeah, I was watching that game because I was watching Cole Sillinger never shoot the puck at the goalie. So they went
I,
to Kadri
I hate this
Klapgazari.
sheet. I don't want to update this sheet. Don't make me update this
Just
sheet. I'm
don't.
not
Nobody
updating.
is gonna care if you don't update fucking Calgary. You're fine. Move
I
on.
know, but
We'll see
I
it in
feel bad.
practice tomorrow.
All
Do you know
right.
what happened when they were down and they tried to score a goal in the last few minutes? You know who was on the ice for the last like 2 minutes of the game? Connor Zary. You know who didn't score? That line and Connor Zary. But
Oh
yeah,
God.
I mean, like, let's see what the lines are tomorrow because even that
Okay.
seems, like I said, a little fragile. Like the fact that they're like, you know what we need to do? Connor Zary is playing great. Got to get Adam Klapka out there with him. That ought to fucking do it at 5-on-5. Like, I mean,
Wait.
it's an idiot team that does dumb things. I just think that like there's worse options on this slate than saying I have 3,300, so I'm going to click on Connor Zary.
I get it.
Like
That's cool.
it's 7 shots on goal, over it, one expected, 2 points. Call me crazy.
Chicago.
They're
Let's
playing
do
Chicago.
Chicago. Connor Bedard is 8,200, a far cry from the upper end players on this slate. So I'll just say
And
that right
who are they
away
playing
against
against again?
Calgary.
Calgary, right?
The
Okay.
Calgary Flames.
Mm,
You might have
interesting.
heard Calgary give up 5 to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Not a good sign. I really like Connor Bedard tomorrow. I mean, I think you just play Bedard and like maybe Levshinov or maybe not. Up to you. Like he's playing a lot, and I know he had like a 5-minute shift, and everyone was tweeting about it, but he's out there a lot. I don't know. He's good. He
Believe it
shoots.
or not, I like players that play 5-minute shifts. Just gonna
Yeah, that's
throw
good
that
for
one out
me.
there. I
People are
think
like,
you could
"Hello,
get a fantasy point or two in that shift.
accidentally." Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, Zari, Bedard, Levshinov. It's like
Jesus.
not a.
So imagine
uh,
someone like maybe someone like 4 months ago, like, hey DJ, like, what are you looking forward to this DFS season? And you go, well, in mid-January, I'm gonna sit there and go, you should consider Zari, Levshinov, Bedard, and they're gonna be like,
little
oh,
game stack, little game stack, not a big
little
one.
game
Little one,
stack. All right.
no big deal.
Um, yeah. TBD whether they go 11-7 or not. I expect 12-6 based on the way they practiced, but I don't know. Maybe they sent down Korchinski again or whatever, but I thought he was up and around. Burakovsky, Bedard, Green, Bertuzzi, Dickinson, Mikheyev, Donato, Moore, Lardis, Doc, Felino, Slaggert was how they practiced. That third line, Donato, Moore, Lardis, is all getting power play time. They're 9.1K. Like, yeah, the expecteds are only 19 total, and the actuals are even worse with 16. But you're not finding guys for 9K to get power play time against Calgary all too often. And we know Ryan Donato is at least a long term guy, and that Moore and Lardis have some prospect pedigree. So, not the dumbest thing in the world if you're trying to fit a McDry team or something and want to play, Chikrin and Bouchard or, just something crazy. Keep that in mind. But obviously, building around Bedard makes the most sense. Bertuzzi's been awesome. He's just
Yep.
doing the Jake DeBrusk thing in that front, but he's actually scoring now. So, those expected fantasy points have come home to roost. He's going to go on a Brady Kachuk fail in a little bit where he gets, 3-4 shots a night and doesn't score, and it's going to feel bad. But for now, it's 5,100 against Calgary. Have at it. I prefer Bertuzzi as a stacking partner to either Burakovsky or Green.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. I just find it very funny that you're like, what player do I equate Bertuzzi failing in the near future too. And you're like, Brady Kachuk. It sounds like fun.
I think he scored like 40 tonight. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. You stand
Yeah.
2 feet away from the goalie and jam pucks in the pads. Like sometimes you just
Sometimes the
score
pads. Yeah.
those. I don't know.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's talk about the maybe we'll call it the not as chalky side of the most important game of the night. Barzal, Lee, and Duclair. Barzal played 25 minutes against Winnipeg in a game they lost 5-4, where Ilya Sorokin did not do the things that whatever 30% of the field I bet played.
Just about.
The situation that I was concerned with more or less came true, and I played just a part of it. I was worried that Richie, Druid, and Hyman wouldn't get enough run, but Heineman would. That is exactly what happened. Heineman played 18 minutes, Richie played 12, and Druid played 14. So the power play one that didn't work anyways really just wasn't all that you needed. Like Heineman kind of feels like maybe just a piece you put by himself. It's a Edmonton team that's not very good defensively, but they're getting better with the return of Wallman. I mean, I'm not saying to go to the Islanders here, but like you could definitely click on Heineman again.
Certainly. For 3,900, turns out guys who get 26 in 18 minutes is quite good. He had a penalty shot goal. He kills penalties. He's out there in the Horvat. I mean, he's taking one timers on the power play. Like, yeah, this dude's offering it all right now. Great way to fit in McDavid stuff. Like, absolutely no question about it, because we all know what I'm about to say. On the power play in the NHL, the most likely indicator that you're about to get a power play is to take a penalty. And guess what? If McDavid draws a penalty, you bet your ass in the next 5 minutes, the refs are going to go, how can I give the Islanders a penalty or a power play? And that's just going to be the yin and yang of it. So I think that Heineman is very much in play. I agree with you. Joan and Richie are thin, but they're fully power. I mean, they were fully power play correlated. What happened to Matt Schaefer? What did I miss? Did he get hurt?
Scored. I mean, he scored late. He was out there.
He did not play on. Okay, yeah, he missed like a big chunk of the first period. So I don't know what that was about, but he did not play on their first power play. So that's why I was confused. Okay, but
yeah, you're right. D'Angelo did.
He missed like 10 minutes and still played what?
Why did he miss? Yeah, you're right. He just didn't have a shift in like
23 minutes, and he missed literally 10 minutes in the first period.
Yeah, what the fuck happened? He missed like from 6 minutes into the game until like I don't understand. I don't know. That one I guess take a look tomorrow. I don't know. He's probably fine. He came back. I mean, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he played 60% of the third period, so I think he's good. Just weird stuff. I don't know.
Huh.
All right, let's talk about sorry. What is Schaefer's price? 5,500. Okay, whatever. He's cooled off a bit from a fantasy standpoint. RNH, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Kapanen, Mangiapane, Roslow, Savoy. This is the point where I did not get to the lines before the show. Full disclosure, so I will be looking these up while DJ talks. Janmark, Lazar, Frederick, sure, whatever. Most importantly, Ekholm, Bouchard, and then Nurse and Wallman are both back. I think they were separated to start, but I expect long-term that they will be playing together come playoff time. So in any case, Wallman is 3,500 and is a fun fantasy defenseman. So I like that player at that price. DJ, thoughts on Edmonton here?
I mean, but what could anyone say but positive things about Connor McDavid as of late? I mean, the past 2 games haven't been Slate winners, but they're close. He was basically a goal away from either the past 2 games. He has a point in 20-something games in a row now, I believe it is, with multiple games with 3 points, and this is another great opportunity. Like, the Islanders are not fantastic defensively. They're without Horvat and I think someone else I'm not thinking. I mean, both Palmieri, Romanoff, like those are 3 guys that are out for a while and matter for this team. And like Matt Barzal is good, but is he good in the way of stopping McDavid. I don't know. Maybe worth looking into their matchups if he can skate with him or something, because that's something Barzal can do. But like, I don't think that's who they try to shut him down with. I mean, they're a great play. It's not going to get overlooked. There's a few spots that could take away some of the ownership. We've already gone over them. There's plenty of ways to fit them, which makes them more interesting. That's sort of why I thought there's no way they're not going to get ownership. Like this, the Kyman McDavid situation is going to get looked at and played. Bouchard could be involved. The Kyman's been basically Tyler Bertuzzi, and Brady Tkachuk tonight as we're recording. Like he's just jamming pucks into goalies in front of the net and tapping in all of the Draisaitl. Like Draisaitl did everything to score, and it just sat on the goal line. And he's like, I guess if no one's gonna tap that in, I'll just waft it home for you. He could have sneezed on the puck and it would have gone in. That's what Hyman does. I mean, this will be the most owned player on the slate, and McDavid and pieces around him. I will, if I play McDavid, just play Draisaitl. Like, there's a ton of cheap options, and these are the guys that put the slate to sleep entirely. And if Draisaitl has 4 points, McDavid might only have 3, but that could be enough. So, yeah, I'm interested, and I think you bring it back with a guy like Heineman, and then you find some, one of these cheap stacks. We've already mentioned a couple to go with it.
Yeah, I can't restate anything you just said. I would actually consider Draisaitl and Kapanen. Kapanen's still 2,600. He's returned from his injury layoff and played 5 games, and he has 6 points. 5 points in 5 games. Yeah, I can't math right. But most importantly, he has 11 shots as well. So that's very good, and he's not Podkolzin over here doing absolutely nothing. So taking advantage of that price makes sense to get some relief as well. All right, let's do Dallas and Utah. On the Dallas side, they dropped a nuke on us on Tuesday night. No Miro Heiskanen. I actually have not checked in on that situation to know whether he's going to return to the team on the road or not. So if you don't know anything, I will continue to scroll, and I don't see anything. So, yeah, that's tough. I'm not going to watch the Golitzin post-gamer, but if you need to know whether he's going to play 20 hours before the slate starts, you could do that. But yeah,
Heiskanen should only be away from the team for short term.
Okay, cool. Okay, short term
per Shams.
Sounds like it sounds like a baby situation. So maybe it's another game and then he's back, but I don't know that for sure, obviously. So in any case, so keep an eye out for Thomas Harley night. 4,400 Harley would be basically the same role that he was on Tuesday, and you just watch that game and it's like, yep, this is the Thomas Harley I remember. He's just patrolling the blue line, when they're in the zone, cycling. He's the guy. He played 29 minutes, top power play, kills penalties. Like, he'll do it all. So a big in on the Harley train if Heiskanen misses. Otherwise, we saw some weird lines. They were losing. They did lose to Anaheim, but Johnston, Rantanen, and Robertson Hintz will be together. Robertson Hintz played with Duchesne. That was kind of an interesting line. Hintz and Duchesne looked pretty good together, but it's not anything too out of, especially in this matchup. Utah's a sound defensive squad.
I need to read this exactly as it's written. If you click on Miro Heiskanen in DraftKings, Heiskanen, personal, is away from the team to tend to a family matter and will not play Tuesday's game versus the Ducks. Okay. Analysis. Okay, DraftKings, thank you for the analysis. Heiskanen's absence will likely be covered by Ilya Labushkin. It's unclear if Heiskanen will be back in time for Thursday's contest versus the Mammoth, which is okay.
I have one Miro Heiskanen size hole.
Right.
I'm gonna go to my local hardware dealer or hardware store and be like, hey, I got a hole in my wall. It's about the size of Mira Heiskanen, and he's gonna hand me a fucking toothpick, and he's like, "Oh, I got you an Ilya Labushkin to fill that."
They're just
Jesus.
like, where's the dartboard with all the defensemen? And it's the Bushkin. That'll work.
Yeah,
Just put
they
it in there.
probably
That's
they
exactly.
used AI, and the AI bot
Yeah.
saw that Labushkin draws in, and yeah, it's all dumb and bad. We're all going extinct. This podcast in
So,
5 years will just be two fucking robots talking to each other about LeBron James's Utah Grizzlies or whatever the hell. All right.
yeah, it'll be better than most of my analysis is the sad part.
Yes.
Yeah, Harley is a clear button jam here if you're playing the Stars. Like it's all through the top power play. It didn't click. They did score against Anaheim on the top power play. The top power play, just is broken. Obviously, Harley can't do it, and that's what hopefully people think. And you just jam it in. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not insane. I personally go Johnston, Rantanen, and Harley. They were on the road, so it's hard to say, and they will still continue to be on the road. But like pretty decent look at that being the Harley pair, but Harley certainly saw a good bit of time with others as well. That just seemed to be a little bit more particular that Rantanen and Johnston played with him at 5-on-5. So that's what I would do. I think it's totally a justifiable play. It's not going to be owned, and what has more upside than Dallas?
All right. The Utah side, slightly different matchup than playing Toronto on a back-to-back, but hey, we'll go back to Carconi, McBain, Gunther for sure. That line is 13.6K. I think they scored roughly 100 fantasy points on Tuesday night, so that'll show up good in the expecteds and actuals. But 31 expected, 28 actual last 10 games for 14K. We'll take that. The reasoning remains the same, though, is that we know Carconi is a good DFS player per minute. Jack McBain is certainly an interesting character. He had a strong college track record and, never really got any sort of role in Utah or Arizona to this point. And he's an interesting profile regardless. And then Dylan Gunther's, one of the top 15 up-and-comer fantasy guys in the league. So that's all. Dallas just lost to Anaheim. Dallas has bled shots against all season long. They're power play merchants, et cetera, et cetera. So with no Miro Heiskanen especially, Utah 3 could be right back in consideration here. But any interest in the top 6 from you?
No, I mean I'm not playing Keller, Schmaltz, Kraus if that's really what the illusion is. I know. I think you just like it's putting on your running shoes and going for a jog, but I think it's the third line or nothing. It's just Gunther. Like he's the guy. I don't know. I'm probably not going to play any of it myself, so it would be disingenuous for me to tout it. But I mean, you going to go back to the well? Do you see something else here? But yeah, for me, it's going to be a no.
Yeah, we have a lot of cheap lines. So I'm not committing to it. Certainly, if there's no Miro, I do like a Harley Utah 3 type build that just fits everything I would try to do with a McDavid. So that's certainly something I'm thinking about. But yeah, it's not like, I mean, we've seen it now and it works, so that's worth taking into account. Yeah, I'm not committing one way or the other right now because it won't be one of my top stacks. All right, let's go to the final game, Toronto Vegas. Toronto against Utah got blown up. No practice on Wednesday due to the back-to-back, so don't know if these lines will change. Just going with it. Nyes, Matthews, Domi, Michelli, Tavares, Nylander, Cowan, Waugh, Robertson, Lorenz, Lawton, McMahon. Any interest in Toronto here heading into Vegas? Vegas playing in LA as we record this here podcast.
More interested in Toronto than Vegas, probably, but I think I could. I mean, Vegas seems to change their lineup at a pretty high interval, and right now it's sort of a mess, as we were going to see because you actually changed it. Nylander continues to be too cheap, so it's just going to be with Nylander as a focal point.
Here's how
I
they
think at the
ended
end of
the
the
game,
day,
by the way. Oh, that's
okay.
there we go. So does that
Yeah.
do anything for you?
It doesn't really do anything for me. No, I mean, it's just Nylander Matthews. Like either play the guys that do everything and take advantage of $6,500 Nylander, or you're probably not winning with Toronto. Like I don't know. I'm not. I mean, again, I'm not playing. This game is not that interesting to me. It's really really expensive. I'd rather play Winnipeg one, I think, than Toronto or Vegas, which is pretty a little bit odd maybe to actually say out loud, but I think it's the way I'm looking at the slate right now. There's like 5 spots I like more than Toronto, but I think it's of note
Yeah.
that Matthews is back and going to be 4%.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I'm kind of interested to see this Vegas LA Kings game because I've not been liking a ton of what I'm seeing from Vegas on the ice. Just, I mean, their goalies are letting them down for sure, but the expecteds don't match the results right now for them, and whether that's all goaltending is sort of TBD. But they're on a back to back. Toronto just got clobbered after playing a very respectable game in Colorado and actually pulling out a win. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure I was like, well, Utah's gonna face a Toronto team that just got walloped by Colorado. So like, what Toronto team we were gonna get? Kind of seems like we saw the what do you call it? The sugar high where Toronto just came crashing down against Utah. Now they're bouncing back. I think Vegas is a bit of a wounded duck right now. So that does make me like Matthews. We saw Michelli with Matthews at 5-on-5 to close the game. He's on the power play still, I believe. Based on last game, it was no Nyes on the top unit. It was Tavares top power play. So Michelli Matthews top power play stack. Michelli super cheap. I kind of like that as
Is
a
this
sneaky
technically,
stack.
yeah, this is kind of a revenge narrative for Michelli.
Yes.
Did he play for Utah last year? Right?
Wait, no. You're thinking. No, we're thinking of someone else. Someone else.
What?
Not Luca Pinelli. There's another guy. Gosh, that's gonna bother me. All right. In any case, I'm pretty sure
He played for Utah last year. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Michelli
Yeah,
played
he
for
was
Utah
Arizona and Utah. Vegas.
Yeah,
They're playing
I'm not.
Vegas.
Oh my god. I'm going to bed. I need to go to bed. You're right. We just talked about Utah in the last game, and
Got it. Mason Morelli. Mason Morelli is the guy in Vegas who I'm thinking of. All right.
that's another guy. But yeah, no, my brain just broke, and I think I've officially soiled the end of the podcast. I'm not playing this game. Let's talk about Vegas for a minute.
All right.
You playing it?
Sham's helping us out. Utah, McMahon. Or sorry, Toronto was McMahon, Matthews, Domi to start last game. So maybe some McMahon stuff, if we get that news too, would be in order, because I know we've complained about that over the last week or so. Anyway, Vegas, Barbashev, Eichel, Stone, Kolasar, Hurdle, Bowman, Dorofeyev, Marner, Smith, Reinhart, Sissons, Holtz. Marner continues the center play, which is quite interesting. So yeah, Eichel Stone is just way too expensive for me to really take seriously. Like, they've been productive, so gotta hand them their flowers, but it's Mark Stone. Do I really expect him to be putting up 20 points all that often? No. Then why am I paying $7K for him? I don't like the matchup for them on a back-to-back, so seems pretty straightforward. Shea Theodore's back. He's 5K though, without a power play 1 job, so another sort of just why bother?
Until he gets that power play 1 roll back, if it ever happens. Agreed. It's tough click at that price. I mean, there's just so many defensemen cheaper than him that are having better expecteds in better roles. Like, it's 100 more for Noah Dobson. We've already gone over it. Like, that's the sort of the nothing in this configuration outside of, I guess, Eichel, Stone, and Stone is just a bit too expensive for my liking, is doing it for me. So yeah, let's get into top stacks guarantee goals. Last slate, as we already mentioned, you had Utah 3 as one of your top stacks. It got home. The other one, well, it was Pittsburgh 2, you said, even though you didn't play it. That did
Yeah.
not get home.
I was hoping for Malkin to
Uh,
play with Sid, and then Russ was back, and I was like, yeah, I'll just play Tampa. How'd that work, dumbass?
I was a day early on Ottawa 2, and Winnipeg 2 was, I guess, fine.
Yeah, they were
But
pretty good.
I didn't play. I did play Ottawa 2, and I didn't play Winnipeg 2. Yeah, top stacks, guaranteed goals.
Oh, well, how do we do on
You
our
know what?
goals?
I just deleted them. I'm pretty sure they were 0 for 4. I had
Okay.
Barchenko. Actually, I could just hold on. Let's undo it. You had Larkin.
oh,
Oh, you had Emil Heineman. That's right. So you had one, and I
okay.
had Marchenko DeBrusque.
Uh,
DeBrusque assisted on Pedersen's goal. Did Larkin
well,
score? I don't remember Larkin scoring.
no, they got shut out.
They got shut out. Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, who the fuck did? Yeah, you're right. So 1 for 4. Too bad. So sad. We're on to Thursday. I will start with Columbus 2. And maybe Provorov. Let's see what this defense looks like. But I'll go Monahan, Jenner, Kent Johnston, and conceivably whatever defenseman you want to throw at that if you have the cap.
All right. Let's do the opposite of points chasing and chase some guys returning from injury/illness. I will go Alexi Protas, Tom Wilson, Jake Chikrin. I think Protas and Wilson will play together, especially given the confirmation that Frank was on the top line. So I like that. Protas getting power play time has always been his big bugaboo, but they're playing the San Jose freaking Sharks where 5-on-5 play is like a power play anyway, and now Protas gets power play time. It's a nice little mid-tier price tag for three guys who I'm not sure if they will be highly projected. I'm not sure if they will be projected together, but I think that all three have a clear upside case at 18.5K. So give me Protas, Wilson, and Jake Chikrin.
I like that a lot. Honestly, I was thinking about going the Washington route myself for my second stack because, I mean, of course, Edmonton's a great play and they, yada yada. But I'll go a little bit unconventional. I actually am thinking about jumping in on. Yeah, I think Dallas. Honestly, I think I'm starting to convince myself that Wyatt with Rantanen and I mean, as long as it stays together, but I'm guessing it will. And Harley is like pretty fun and cool. Like, no one's gonna play it. It's a bit expensive, but Harley offers so much value at 4,400. Of course, he will be clicked in as a one-off. But with all these other defensemen, like maybe it's not as much as you'd think. You could kind of play that and throw in a one-off Draisaitl, a one-off McDavid with the lineup that actually no, you can't at all. I don't know why I thought that, but that's doesn't work in the slightest capacity. I started to say it and I ran the numbers in my head. I'm like, hold on. You can play other players though, probably.
All right. I'm going to go back to the well with this one, but it's not the Utah 3 stack. I'm going to go Slavkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov. Obviously, Noah Dobson is a priority here, but I do want to make sure I'm playing Oliver Kapanen with either Slavkovsky or Demidov. And I like playing both of them, honestly. If I had to leave a guy off for Dobson, it would be Demidov, but let's just call it a four-man. So Montreal 2, though, they're just so freaking good. Every time I watch Kapanen, I'm like, yep, this is Joel Eriksson pretty much, and I do like that for 4,300. I think he has the profile of a guy who's gonna stick around for a long while and play a lot of minutes and do a lot of scoring with really good players like Slavkovsky and Demidov have been. And for the game stack, Josh Norris took a cross check to the ribs and will be evaluated in the morning. If he misses, by the way, Bo Byram makes for a great little game stack with Montreal there, or does McLeod
Yeah,
too.
no,
Both guys I think could play that role alongside the top power play.
astute observation. One of the smartest in the industry, as always. Mr. Matt Moody saying the wise and smart things. Guaranteed goals, we must do. Do you want to get started with one?
Yep. I will go Victor Arvidsson, 4,400
Wow.
against Seattle.
Yeah, he has been shooting quite a few pucks. I had not realized. I actually pulled up like the last 3 games for a second and just kind of looking through some different numbers, and he has 8.33 shot attempts in the past 3 games. I think he was out for a little bit, a short stint in that sort of intermediary. Kind of makes me think like Pasternak Arvidsson top power play stack. Like that's where the pucks are flowing through for shots, it would seem. Might
I
look
don't.
into that a little bit more.
I don't think
But
Arvidsson's top power play, is he?
was he not? I have to look. I have to look into him more. That's a good note though.
No. It
Um,
was Zaka, Geeky, Lindholm, Pasta, McAvoy.
they're very annoying and stupid, and I don't respect them or like them. Um, all right. I just gotta be brave and pick somebody instead of just looking through all these numbers and pretending like someone's gonna appear that's certainly gonna score. I will start with if I do Kyle Connor, am I gonna have enough to get anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna kneecap myself with Kyle Connor and see what you know what? Whatever. Connor and Zari. And I'm
Oh,
gonna
Connor
I think
Zari.
that's
DJ's on the train.
Kyle Connor and Connor Zari. There
Okay.
we go. It's pretty close. I would think it's off by a couple hundred, but whatever. It's off
I
by many hundreds, I think.
That's fine. I don't hate it. I respect your bravery. All right.
I thought Kyle Connor was like 8K and he's like 8,500, but
I have 6,600 left. That is just enough for Zach Hyman. I talked about the San Jose at Washington game winning me money. Boy, have we ever had a New York Islanders Edmonton game result in some shitty, or whatever, some Edmonton McDavid product winger going ape shit for us. Let's go back to the well with Zach Hyman on Mood's victory night, which so happens to coincide with 2006, which was the last time I was truly happy watching hockey, thanks to the Buffalo Sabres.
I wish you just would have stopped right there. Which was the last time I was truly happy? Just
I left a dramatic
bam,
pause
bam,
in.
bam, 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 bam. Just
I think everyone knew what I was doing there. Anything else you want to say?
no, I don't. I have nothing else. Wearing my USA Olympic merchandise. If you're not watching this on YouTube, and if you're not watching this on YouTube, go watch it on YouTube. Um, Olympics are right around the corner. I am truly incredibly excited. I don't know what'll be offered by the sports books, but as soon as we get a little bit closer, I'll start pestering them. I'd love to see some shot props and have a ton of fun betting on the Olympics and enjoying watching as many games as humanly possible for every single team involved.
Yeah, I texted my rep at DK yesterday, and so the betting markets, they should have player props, but they might be limited by state because the competitors are considered amateurs. Obviously, I don't know if hockey applies, but some of them obviously might be amateurs, and they will have DFS hockey slates. So let's fucking go.
There is a God. He does exist, and everything's going to be okay.
And I hope he wasn't lying to me, but he did say he was checking with the team and then got back to me to confirm it. So looking forward to
I would,
that.
yeah.
If you like that sort of
like,
stuff,
yeah.
I
Is
will
it
be.
NBA All Star break too?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say there'd be like nothing else. Oh my god, if there's like 100K slate during that,
The problem is no, there won't be because the games will start at like 8 a.m.
yeah. Okay, well, let's get out of here. But we've
Okay.
actually kept this to a decent amount of time before we ruin everything.
Well, you can continue asking questions, but I will close this out.
Okay.
If you like that sort of DFS Olympic hockey, well, I will be doing an Olympic preview in my newsletter. Would certainly expect that closer to game one of the Olympics. I want to keep an eye out for women's props too. So if you see prop markets for the women's hockey come up, let me know because I do have access to that data. I don't want to go about like collecting it, but I did find it, so found that cool, and could play around with some shot props in that realm and some team level stuff. Just writing about what I want to look for come the Olympics. But also, this Friday, there is a DFS slate, and I should be able to cover that over on my newsletter, moods.beehive.com, for a slate preview of the Friday slate. It is a nice little 5-gamer. So, again, that is moods.beehive.com. I am at Fake Moods on Twitter. DJ's at DJ_Milton94. And that'll do it from us. So, thank you all for listening. From Doug, from DJ, from myself, have a good Sabres 2006 anniversary night, everybody, and we will see ya.
You're sitting there looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.